This presentation really looks at the data gathering plan for I'm going to create an Indigenous streetwear online store. Initially, this is my first goal. The sector, I guess the streetwear sector has sort of boomed in the past decade. And compared with, say, sports brands, it's kind of created its own niche. And it's overall globally, it's about $185 billion retail market. And there are a range of players in the market. Most of the people that consume these sort of streetwear are usually under 25, but there are still a lot of older age groups that are tapping into this type of fashion. So specifically I'll be focusing on Indigenous streetwear. There are some brands already in the marketplace that do focus on this, and we'll have a look at their slides shortly. So Clothing the Gaps is one of the streetwear that does have like socially conscious clothing from an Indigenous perspective. They have social messaging. Their site has still very much a minimalistic shop feel, but you're able to sort of access various things through their sort of landing page, I suppose, or their shop landing page. You learn a little bit more about who the people are behind the clothing and the reason why they are doing what they do, which is important, I think, part of any socially conscious brand. Gammon Threads is another one. Theirs is less about social messaging, I suppose, but it is in line with Indigenous sayings and vernacular, I suppose, is what they use, and different typography on their shirts. It's still a minimalistic feel, the shop, but it's a little bit less social messaging than the others. On this one, Dark and Disturbing really is a site for curation of Aboriginal voices or Indigenous voices. There is a shop component. It's not as sophisticated or as modern as the other sites, but it combines both kind of this advocacy and shop element, which is different. So I think the intended user group for the store will be between 20 and 45. I think older age groups, if the clothing is appropriate, can still wear streetwear. I think it's still going to be an Indigenous market and some non-Indigenous, but generally Indigenous youth, perhaps even an international market. They're going to be socially conscious, passionate about Indigenous causes, and multiple income levels. So a lot of the research shows that even people on low incomes will tend to tap into the streetwear. The key activities on the site, I think you need to have substance to the site. So understanding the mission and the Indigenous designers, you're able to search for specific designers, interact with the designers, view available t-shirts, view stories about the t-shirt, choose a shirt, and option to obviously pay for the shirt, but also maybe share through social media. I think in terms of virtue signaling, I think is important if you're looking at promotion. The data gathering techniques, there's a lot of pre-existing data that's been done on streetwear, from the demographic to the income, to how much they spend, to 42% generally still buy from the online store, probably more now given lockdowns, but the fact is that there is a certain market that you are actually looking towards, and a certain way that you reach them, and 84% of social media is the source of influence. So that's that. The surveys, the online focus group, and the questionnaire, I think will help with you creating an understanding of how people shop, but also the age group and demographic that will tap into those social messaging, which is important because that's really what you're selling at the end of the day. And that's that. Thank you.